Great Monday morning, you all. How are you all doing? Happy Monday. This is your girl, Shan. I say it every week. I hope and pray that your day has started off amazing. You are in a positive mood with a positive mindset, okay? But I took my time to come on this morning, really thinking on some things of what I'm going to share with you all on this morning. I'm not going to say briefly because I don't know how long it's going to take and what the Lord is going to say. So good morning to everyone that is coming in. Now, let me go ahead and give a couple of church announcements. First off being, join us tonight for Marriage Mondays with the Kings. We are going to start, good morning, cousin. We are going to start a new love series, kind of like with a twist. Y'all know the Kings always push the envelope as God allow us to do, and we always think outside the box, honey. So we are going to be speaking about love thyself. Tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, our new love series for the month. We're going to be on KRGN 98.5 FM. The Rock, okay? So let me go ahead and give a spiel how you can listen in. If you are local on your radio dial, go to 98.5. If you are national or international, shout out to our international listeners. We thank God for all of you all, as well as everybody who listen. But you know, got to show love to the international. So mykrgn.com. All you need is some Wi-Fi, baby. And then if you want to watch us tonight, head on over to Marriage Mondays with the Kings YouTube channel, and then I'll throw out there as well. You just want to know what the Kings are about, head to our website, marriagemondayswiththekings.com. So I'm throwing that out there. Also, y'all probably ain't going to be able to see this flyer. However, the Kings have been invited on the podcast of Dr. Ann McDaniel Thomas, okay? This is going to be February the 9th. It's on a Friday. I know it's our date night, right? But February the 9th for Ready, Set, Talk. That's the name of our podcast. And we're going to be speaking about marriage matters. And she wants to have candid conversation with the Kings. So y'all be on the lookout on all the platforms on how to watch it live. And again, that is going to be on February the 9th, which is a Friday. It's going to be, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because Dr. McDaniel Thomas, who is the host, resides in Georgia. Okay. Now, let me share this one thing real quick before I get into what I'm going to talk about this morning. If you are a business owner, I need you to listen up. If you all, good morning, beautiful. If you all know any business owners, I need you all to please just listen up for a minute. You know, I was thinking about this. Family, just period. If you use any type of platforms, and I'm trying to be really careful about my words because you use certain words, they'll ban you. Do not rely on the platforms unless you are going to spend the money to actually market yourself. What these platforms used to be, which was to bring us together, keep us informed and community, is not like that anymore. So a lot of people are getting upset because you're having these events and you're putting it on social media. You're trying to tag everybody and everything like that. And then you're having to cancel your events, or you're mad because you're still having it and nobody shows up. That's not the way to go. We're going to have to go back old school. So keep people's telephone numbers. A lot of people check their email address. Some don't check email. I mean, I'm one, every now and then. But people's phone numbers, if you have to text people flyers and say, hey, can you put this up on your social media, share with me? Because guess what? If you all think about it, a lot of us are not seeing each other's posts until it's like 5 days later. It's 3 days later. And the reason why I'm bringing this up, because a beautiful couple in our area was hosting an event. I never seen the event. However, I did see we're going to have to cancel this event due to the lack of support. People not supporting because people don't know, because if you ain't putting up the coins, ain't nobody going to see it. It became all about money now, not togetherness, unity, promoting things or whatever. So if you are a business owner, don't get upset. Don't get upset because people don't know. Also, because we have two businesses. The Kings have two businesses. I'm sitting up there like, wow, we're doing great things and whatever the case may be. Why are people not sharing our stuff? I always post. It is free to share. It costs you nothing to hit the share button. Now, I ain't gonna lie. My cousin over here, baby, she the truth. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going, because she was like, don't be putting me out there like that. But baby, she share everything when it comes to the kid. She is the number one person in all family to do. But what I'm saying is, don't get mad at your family members, because 9 times out of 10, by the time they see it, it's like 3 to 5 days later. And it's after it happened, if they see it at all, because a lot of people are approaching us when we go out in the community and like, hey, do you still do marriage mornings with the queen? Do y'all still have marriage Mondays with the kings? Like, I don't see anything on y'all's page. I thought maybe y'all like blocked us or whatever. And so I'm like, no. And I'm pulling it up. Pull up your phone. Da-da-da. It's all these metrics that they're changing. I brought this up to say, don't get mad at people because you're perceiving. What was once created to bring us together is keeping us apart. So go back old school where you got to text or pick up the phone and say, hey, this is what I got going on. I wanted to invite you, whatever the case may be. Oh, okay. We'll be on the lookout for the details with the email. All right. Don't get mad at people. I'm thinking about community. This is the time we definitely need to come together. Now, let me go ahead and get into this morning what I'm going to talk about real quick. Watch your lane, okay? So I'm going to take the time just a little bit to kind of break this down for people who have never served in the military. But those who have served in the military, you have heard these words before, and you're probably going straight to how you word it, how you heard it. But you used to hear, watch your lane, watch your lane. Okay. For those of you who never served in the military, and I got to be careful with my wording too, so they don't be thinking I'm trying to incite violence. When you went to the range, when you go to the range, think why you would go to the range. When you go to the range, when we were in the military, the individual who was in the tower would tell us when it was time to fire to watch our lane. All right? Watch your lane. So think of going to a range. And when you have to keep your eye on your target, that's going to make a lot of sense for what I'm talking about this morning. So keep your eye on your target, which means watch your lane. You watch up and down your lane. I ain't got no business over here looking at this person's lane, that person's lane, or whatever the case may be. That's what God has put on my heart. Okay. Another reason, and as I'm speaking to individuals, why people were so emotionally and mentally and physically exhausted last year, because you was too busy watching everybody else's lane and you wasn't watching your own. This the thing, and me and my husband kind of talk about it a lot on our show about how, using the illustration, I'm at the front door of the home, or he's at the front door of the home, I'm at the back door, and guess what? We watching because we know that the enemy is going to come. See, this is the thing. When we don't watch our lane, because we're too busy watching everybody else's lane, then we leave our lane wide open. We leave our lane unprotected. So ask yourself, because, you know, this is, a lot of us don't like to look at ourselves. We don't even like people to keep it real with us, as we say, because that means I have to examine myself. So in 2023, ask yourself, did you leave your lane somehow wide open? I don't care if that's having to do with your health. I don't care if that's having to do with yourself, your mental. Did you allow others to drain you? Did you allow others to use you as a personal bank? And they always calling you when their bills are due, even though they just blew their money. Did you allow? And this is the thing. In order for change to happen, we first have to recognize that thing, right? I first have to say, nope, that was all me. Because didn't nobody put a weapon to my head and force me to do anything. I was too busy trying to have the cape on, over here trying to save everybody else. And God did not direct me to do that. So what I'm going to encourage you all to do in the 2024, don't move unless God tell you to move. Don't speak unless God tell you to speak. Examine everything when it comes to protecting your peace. Okay, baby, I am doing it. We are in the month of February. What? I don't care what it is. I decide. I take a moment, because let me tell you what we do. I was talking to an amazing woman of God, amazing young lady. She happened to be me and my daughter's hairstylist. And she was sharing, I love when we get that, if we get a little bit of time just to talk while we're at the hair salon. And so she was speaking about how her bishop taught her a long time ago, and this right here is going to bless somebody, how her bishop taught her a long time ago, never make a permanent decision being led by your emotions. Never make a permanent decision being led, good morning, beautiful, by your emotions. And that's the reason why a lot of us was exhausted at the end of the year. Because if we think back, We made decisions, and it may not have been permanent. It could be anything based off of our emotions. When somebody come and they tell you this story and not to say that we being harsh and being cut off, but remember what I said, be led by God. Okay. Somebody may present a beautiful opportunity, because this is the thing that we know, especially for us who was raised up in the building, in the church building. We was raised and we was taught, and you get into the word. God can present something, but the enemy can present something just the same. Okay. Just the same. And then we'll set up here because we haven't spent time with God, because we haven't relied on, okay, God, we haven't waited to hear and God give us that unction. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. In our spirit, we just move. And then we turn around and guess what we do? We blame the person. We can't do that. We have to accept personal responsibility. We have to be able to own and say, I did that and I shouldn't have did that. I moved when God told me not to move, or God didn't tell me to do that. Because I know when I used to get mad and go to God, you see what I'm saying? And be like, God, how did you allow this to happen? Because we got to blame somebody, but that somebody cannot be us. Woo! Did you hear that? We have to blame somebody, but that somebody cannot be us. Baby, protect your peace in this year, whatever that means. Okay. And for those of you to say, you know what? Because a lot of people said it. I don't think I ever heard from God. I don't know what that's like. Okay. This is the thing. Hey, get closer to God. Get in God's word. Pray. Get in the presence of God. And you know what that means? That doesn't always mean that because baby, it's been some times I've been driving, I've been listening to some gospel music, baby. You know, the old school, sorry, not trying to knock the new school, but the old school. And baby, something will hit just right. And I'm crying and Jesus is literally taking the wheel. You hear me? Because I'm up in the heavenlies. But when we stop and get in our quiet place, look at what Jesus did in the New Testament. When we stop and get in our quiet place, when we dedicate time just to set aside with God, some of us don't even dedicate time to set aside with our own spouse. Okay, let alone God. Some of us don't take the time to set aside with our own children, let alone God. And then we sit up here and wonder why whatever the situation is, turned out the way that it did. Because we're too busy watching everybody else's lane. We too busy being in everybody else's business. We too busy got to know what the latest tea is and whatever. Because when I spend my precious time, because baby, time is something we cannot get back. And I set up time, because I do put it on my calendar. I'm that meticulous. When are you available to talk? Or when are you available to meet up? Come on over to the house. Let's sit down. When I dedicate my time, I'm generally checking in with people and saying, how are you doing? How are things going for you? We have some nice, mature dialogue. But what I don't want is a whole bunch of you dumping out. No. Because I got to protect my peace. And what we try to do as a people, we're too busy trying to be out here saving everybody else when we need to be saving ourselves. I know a hit dog a holler. That's what we say in the country. We out here trying to say, mind the business that pays you. Okay? Mind the business that pays you. Some of y'all gonna be like, I don't know what that means. Hey, go ask your homie, go ask your friend. But that's what, mind the business that pays you. I'm gonna watch my lane. I'm gonna stay in my lane. I'm not gonna move out of my lane, which is myself, being in tune with myself, we'll have a gut feeling about something. Good morning, beautiful. We'll have a gut feeling about something, and we'll still go and do it anyway. That is a sign. Your tail probably shouldn't be doing that. That's just like when somebody running in the woods. Okay, I'm going to say this joke. It's kind of like a little black joke. But they say when you see black people running, you don't stop and investigate. You run too. Okay? We about to what? We will find out why we running later on. We just know, and they're feeling in that gut, some ain't right, and we got to protect ourselves. So how many of you are not protecting your peace? How many of you are putting on that cake constantly feeling like you need to save everybody else? But then when whoever you saving and or individuals burn you, then you turn around and you get mad at them and you blame them. No, baby. No, baby. 2024 is the year of accepting and taking personal responsibility. We are no longer going to blame God because God ain't told us to do it. God ain't going to lead us into anything that is going to purposely harm us, whatever the case may be. I believe that because he ain't never did it for me. He's always tried to protect me. But see, we don't know that correlation because we too busy running and doing. Can you do this? Can you do that? Let me tell you the first thing I do. Look at my calendar. Let me tell you the first thing I did for 2024. In December 2023, sat down with my husband. Well, actually, it was November. We decided what trips we were going to take in 2024. We decided what trips we're going to take with the kids. Good morning, cousin. In 2024. Anything that we're doing with family or family friends, hey, okay, when y'all talking about going to such and such, when y'all talking about going on a cruise, when you talking about doing this, okay, let's put this thing on the calendar. Boom, that's out the way. Then the kings, Kenya and I start accepting engagements. But anytime somebody asks me something, baby, I'm looking at my phone. I'm looking at my calendar to see what me and my family, because I'm watching my lane, to see what me and my family are going to be doing. Or even if I don't feel like it, baby, I can't do that weekend. No, we busy. And you don't need no further explanation. So watch your lane. Ask yourself, are you busy watching everybody? You can't save. And I know there is having sympathy and having empathy for individuals. I'm telling you, I don't even call people unless God, or text them unless God and put it on my heart. And I ain't got to know your business. I ain't got to know what you're going through and none of that. But see, let me tell you something else that's a problem real quick. And I'm going to get up off here. God just reminded me of this. Baby, it's tough out in these streets, okay? It is tough out in these streets. Let's talk about relationship, because that is the kings. We are relationship therapists. And I don't mean we playing. No, we got the education. People are messing up when it comes to relationships. Get it out your mindset that I could put my wife, I could put my husband, I could put my kids, I could put my grandkids, for some of y'all who got grandchildren, on the back burner because they gonna always be there. Don't do that. That's out of order. That's out of order. And I believe that's out of God's order, because we're supposed to be taking care of our home first. But what people are doing is we have this misconception and we allow the enemy to make us to believe that, oh, they gonna always be there, or make us to believe that, I'm going to take it back to this little country saying, we need to learn in 2024 how to start playing chess and not checkers. Shan, what does that mean? Play chess and not checkers. What they used to say, what I used to hear growing up in the country, is you need to learn how to play the long game. What my actions right now, how would that affect me in the future? How would that affect me tomorrow? How would that affect my actions that I take right now? And a lot of people are under this misconception, this illusion that you can treat your spouse any type of way. You can talk to them crazy. You can talk to your kids crazy. Let's give an example about these kids, because let me tell you what's happening. And I ain't trying to be mean, but I don't even feel bad. I don't feel bad. Let me tell you what's going on now. You treat your kids like, second-class citizens. I'm trying to be careful with my words. Y'all know me. Y'all know I'm just going to say it. You treat your kids like second-class citizens growing up, for example, right? Oh, and I'm this, and I'm the authoritarian, and I'm this. Or you're being a manipulative mama. You trying to manipulate them so your kids can't live that, and you using that mother's love, and I sacrifice. Come on, somebody, I want to hear that this morning. But then when these kids start doing the healing, they go into counseling, they healing from the dysfunction that they came up in, and they learning, I got to set healthy boundaries. And if you can't line up with these healthy boundaries, I love you. I always love you, but I can no longer allow myself to operate in that dysfunction. So you treat them any type of way like a second-class citizen when they're children. But guess what you're going to need when you get older? You're going to need somebody to take care of you. You're going to need somebody, God forbid you end up in a wheelchair or whatever. You're going to need them. Okay? And so then it's, I did all this, I sacrificed this, my kids ain't even there for me. How did you treat them? The word of God says that what you sow, you shall reap. But ain't nobody ready for that. Ain't nobody trying to apply no biblical, that in which you sow. Same thing with your spouse. I seen this so much, and not trying to bag on the military. I'm just talking about what I know because it can happen outside of the military too. But in the military, these authoritarian leaders, whether it be male or female, would always treat their spouse like a secondhand citizen, like your own. And let me tell you, a part of that for us old school, we was taught if I want you to have a family, I would have issued you one. Okay, but let's go back to the you for 20 some years, you done treated your spouse a 10 years, 5 years, it don't matter, like a second class citizen. But guess what? One day you gonna become a veteran. One day them veteran disabilities are going to kick in. I'm just telling you what I know. Me and my husband are both veterans. Guess what? Me and that brother needs each other. You hear me? Them be some days when you wake up, baby. You see that old folks, 70, 80 years old. It's cold outside. You know what we say in the country. Woo, it must be cold outside. My knees is hurting. My back aching. And then you got to rock up off that bed before you can stand up. And we only in our 40s and 50s now, but that was going on in the 30s and 40s for the kings. You're going to need them. Learn how to play the long game, okay? Learn how to play, and I'm not talking about as a game per se, but those who get it, if you know, you know. Learn how to play chess and not checkers. That means quit always moving in your emotion. Listen, okay, so I told you I'm a tomboy, and it's funny, it kind of reminds me of the military when I was in the military. I love all females. For example, which y'all know I used to say I didn't deal with females, right? I need to, let me say it like this. I need to be surrounded, and this is what I realize. And it's males to be emotional too, baby, especially when y'all have y'all man time of the month, but that's a whole nother life. We'll leave that alone. It is called your myriad. Y'all be tripping too once a month. However, I don't even like to trip once a month. I can't stand that. I don't like to be surrounded by individuals, whether it be male or female, that you always operating out of your emotion. There is no logic to what you're doing. I'm not talking about trying to get over on people, whatever, but you can't rationalize well in your cognitive thinking. And I'm trying not to go to the counseling realm because you always operating out of emotion and you want everybody else around you to operate out of emotion. That is toxic and that's draining. Learn how to be mature. Learn how to heal. And I ain't got the energy to be mad at people this year. Why? Because I'm watching my lane. When I and my husband and my children tighten up, as we used to say in the military get, I ain't got time to explain for civilians, on our shot group, because I'm watching my lane at the range, I'm watching my family, baby, this has been beautiful. You hear me? I ain't feel drained mentally, physically, or emotionally. So God brought me on this thing here this morning to encourage you all to watch your lane, okay? Don't operate making permanent decisions out of your emotions. Whatever you doing in the now, I need you to set up and think, which way could this go? Because I've had to think that several times. Okay, this female talking to me like she done lost her rabbit mind. Shan, y'all remember we used to watch them cartoons? You had the angel and the devil that would show up on your shoulder. I be saying, Shan, you could introduce her to the old Shan that's from the 73084 and the 405, but if you do that, you going to jail, sis, because you ain't got no middle. You going to jail. You going to catch a case. You going to look pretty in the jumpsuit, but that ain't what you want. You see what I'm saying? Or I could be like, you know what? This person ain't even worth my energy. They're operating like an adult child. You see those two different conversations? And I have too much to lose. And I'm being an example for my children and my grandchildren to catch a case. So I just give them a warning. Move around. This ain't what you want. Move around. Because, baby, I'm sitting up here with Satan on one shoulder and the Lord on the other. You heard me? This ain't what you want. Leave people alone and stay in your own lane, okay? So y'all have a blessed rest of the week. I can't even say that I'll be back with y'all. No, I will not, because next week is a holiday. So it's President's Day in the United States. So I'll be back with y'all in 2 weeks. But listen, watch your lane. Take inventory over yourself. Take inventory and go back and think about what you allowed in 2023 that you should not be allowing in 2024. Watch your lane, okay? So y'all have a blessed week on purpose. Don't let anybody steal your joy. Be a blessing and not a curse. Join the Kings tonight for Marriage Mondays with the Kings as we start our new love series with a twist. We're going to be talking about love thyself. Baby, y'all not ready for it. Y'all not ready. And bringing the word of God. Love thyself. Okay, we didn't say self-love. We said love thyself. Join us tonight on KRGN 98.5 FM The Rock. And y'all have a blessed rest of the week on purpose. God blessing and blessings to you.